What happens in the entrepreneur brain when you want to put your prices up? I've spent 30 years working with entrepreneurs, and this is one of the most common issues. They've done the maths, they've researched their market. Some of them have the number written on a post-it note and stuck on their laptop. And still, someone asks their rate and they drop it back down before the client has said a single word. And every business coach on the internet will tell you that's a mindset issue. I'm going to tell you it isn't. It's a learned threat response. And those are very different problems with very different solutions. You've rehearsed saying your rate, you've practiced it out loud, and you've told yourself you're worth it more times than you can count. And then someone comes along and asks you in real life, and you hear yourself saying a number that is not the number you rehearsed. You're offering discounts they didn't ask for, apologising for your rate whilst you're still in the middle of saying it. That is not a confidence problem. That's a learned threat response that changes your brain state and your body state before you've even opened your mouth. And once you understand what it is, you can change it. The moment you think about saying your rate, your brain appraises it as a threat, not a mild concern, an actual threat. It recruits the same stress systems it would use if something genuinely dangerous were about to happen. That might sound a bit dramatic, but your brain doesn't weigh up whether the danger is proportionate. Social threat and physical threat can activate the same underlying systems, the same mechanisms, the same chemistry, and the very same result. And that result comes with a stress response. The moment you think about saying your real rate, the brain triggers a stress response and involves two hormones, neither of which are remotely useful in a pricing conversation. The first thing that happens is your sympathetic nervous system activates. Your heart rate goes up, your peripheral vision sharpens, blood gets sent to your muscles because your body is preparing you to run or to fight. Acute stress impairs your ability to think clearly and hold your position. At the same time, adrenaline kicks in and makes you fill the silence. So you're nervous, you're rambling, and you're lowering your price before they even ask. Every time you undercharge, you're not just losing money on that transaction. You're sending a signal to your subconscious that says, this is what I'm worth. Your brain treats repeated behavior as identity. It doesn't judge it or question it. It simply observes what you keep doing and concludes that must be who we are. So your self-image updates to match your pricing. And then your brain works to maintain that self-image because that's what brains do. You'll find reasons not to raise your prices. You'll attract clients who expect the lower rate. You'll feel genuine discomfort when you quote more because it doesn't match who your brain thinks you are. The threat response created the behavior created the self-image, and the self-image creates everything else. So the obvious question is, what do you actually do about it? I can tell you from 30 years of clinical work that the answer is not to rehearse the higher number until it feels comfortable. Rehearsal reinstalls the same threat response every single time. I've known brilliant people rehearse their rate for months and still cut it in the room because rehearsal doesn't touch the part of the brain where the problem actually lives. The fix has to happen before the stress response fires, not after it. Before the thought even registers as a threat. That's exactly what the delete method does. It works at the subconscious level to install new ways of thinking before the original thought has a chance to trigger the stress response. When the thought doesn't register as a threat, the stress response doesn't fire. When the stress response doesn't fire, you can think clearly. And when you can think clearly, you can hold your price. So the question isn't whether you know your worth. Most of the entrepreneurs I work with know their worth. They've known it for years. The question is, what's happening in your brain in the exact moment you say it out loud? And that's what we fix.